ਸਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਧਨ ਰਪਾਨ ਧ੍ਰਿਤ ਮਾਨ ਤਰਾਤਰ ਅਨਬਕਾਰ ਅਸਤਾਰੀ ਹਉ ਮਤ ਮੰਦ ਚਰਨ ਸਰਨਾਗਤ ਕਰ ਕਹ ਲੇਹੁ ਉਬਾਰੀ ਡੰਡੌਤ ਬੰਧਨ ਅਨਕ ਬਾਰ ਸਰਬ ਕਲਾ ਸਮਰਥ ਡੋਲਨ ਤੇ ਰਾਖੋ ਪ੍ਰਭੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇ ਕਰ ਹੱਥ ਡੋਲਨ ਤੇ ਰਾਖੋ ਪ੍ਰਭੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇ ਕਰ ਹੱਥ ਗੁਰੂ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀਓ ਗੱਜ ਵੱਜ ਕੇ ਫਤਿਹ ਬੁਲਾਓ ਜੀ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ Maharaj, they've gathered us here today in the form of the Sangat for another the Sikhi verses talk. So today's going to be Sikhi verses change, and tell the truth, when I was asked to do this talk, they were trying to rush me to get a title in. So it was kind of spontaneous, but Guru Maharaj Ki Kripa Naal, I hope someone, somewhere in the Sangat can take something away today. If not, then by all means come out to me afterwards and give me a slap for not doing what I should have done. So, Sikhi versus change. Now, change is such an interesting topic. Change is not something people take lightly. Change is not something people can accept at times. One of the hardest things to do in this world is for us to change our tastes, our desires. And Guru Maharaj Ji repeat that over and over again. So this talk, we're going to go through a few examples. And there are going to be quite a few examples because, look, I'm quite a simple guy. And being a simple guy, my talks are quite simple. So I won't go here and there too much. But there are going to be a lot of very similar examples I'm going to use. Why? Because we're humans. We forget things all the time. Phone, keys, wallet, wherever that song was back in the day. It's true, right? Whether it's people's names, things on our calendars, whatever it might be, we forget over and over again. But the most important thing, the reason we came to this world, Akal Purakh Vaheguru, is the easiest thing to forget because it's the hardest thing to connect to. So, without further ado, we'll start with the human perspective. And the human perspective is this, that since the dawn of mankind, since the beginning of time, since humans came to this world, we've interacted with this world with this one perspective in mind. And that is that things in this world that have the ability to move, things in this world that have the ability to go, to travel, whether it's at moderate speed, whether it's at really fast speeds, if any of these things that we can get to move, that we can get to go, we can't bring under our control, we can't get them to stop, then we have this understanding that we cannot get complete happiness out of those things. Very simply put, if something can move, if something has the ability to travel, but it cannot be stopped, then it's unable to make us complete in the pursuit of happiness. Anyone remember that Will Smith film, Pursuit of Happiness? That's what we're looking for in life. What in this world can make me happy? And it's not on a day-to-day basis, it is on a second-to-second basis. Is this thing going to make me happy? Am I going to get some ras out of that? So like I said, I'm going to use loads of examples. And just bear with me, please. Sometimes because of these things, we've lost the ability to be patient in life. We've lost the ability to sit there and wait for an answer, whether it's test results, whether it's news about our parents, whatever it might be. We've lost that ability to just have a bit of patience. So please, Bentiyan, Charan Sangatji, just give me some time to explain. So before the explosion of science, before we started looking at science-backed research for everything in life, humans relied on one thing, and that was nature. We sourced our food from this, we grew our crops, whatever little bit that we needed to eat, we kept, and the rest we sold off. We played in nature as we growed up. Played with our friends in the mud, in the jungles, wherever that might have been back in the day. Our lives revolved around nature, even our jobs revolved around nature back in the day. Right? We built our homes out of this thing, mud huts, whatever they were, bamboos. And when it came to travel, the source was very similar. Traveling from one place to another, whether we use horses, we use mules, we use donkeys, elephants, camels, whatever they were, we captured these things from the wild. Right? That's what they refer to as jungli janwar. They lived in the jungles. We tamed what animals we could, and then we built a close relationship with them. Horses, for example, you hear many sing, Singhaniya. Even to this very day, they refer to horses as Janpais, their beloved companions. And it's a Mahan Siva, and is known as a Mahan Siva, and forever will be, hopefully, that doing seva of a kora, of a horse, is one of the ultimate sevas to do in the house of the Guru. So all those animals that we could bring under our control, we'd keep them, form a special bond, but any of the animals that we couldn't, like a tiger, like a rhino, whatever they were, we'd let them free. We'll send them back. And generally speaking, the more useful something is to us, the more value we give it. We're going to go through a few examples now. Now imagine we walked into a trash yard. All there is just dump upon dump. And we see this pile of dump with tires and old batteries and random rocks and metals and whatever. Remember that quote, right? The more useful something is to us, the more value we give it. Hands up, anyone here who would pay £5,000 for that dump of trash? Anyone? She would. Anyone pay £500 for this pile of trash? No? £50? Maybe a few of us, yeah? I'm going to ask the same thing. Who would pay who would pay or sell this car if they had it for £105? Anyone? No, you want a lot more money for it. Anyone would sell this car, brand new BMW M5, for £15,000? No. £105,000? Yeah, most of us. That's actually the price of probably a base model nowadays. £105,000. Now look, this example could be used for anything: laptops, phones, machinery, automobiles, cars, planes, trains, whatever it is. You know, back then, when all this trash was piled into individual pieces, we gave it no wealth, no value whatsoever. But in fact, all these things put together, do you know what it makes? It makes that. It makes a car. Not just any car, brand new BMW M5. But look how much value we gave these objects on an individual basis. Look how much value we give it because of how useful it is to us. What am I going to do with these things? Scratch my back? Put up as an ornament in my house? I could take that to France. I could take that to Australia if I wanted to. I could live in that thing. Repeat this again. The more useful something is to us, the more value we give it. I'll give you another example. Southall Park is only what? 5-minute walk? 10-minute walk if you want to go at a really slow pace? Take a spade one day, start digging in the ground, get a pile of mitti, a good pile of mitti in your hands. Now, really and truly, it is completely valueless. It has no value to it. You can get it for free. But you mix that with some water. You make a pot out of it, clay pot, some clay utensils. For all you know, you can make it into a brick, throw it into a furnace. You can make houses out of that. Look at how the value drastically increases from something that was worth absolutely nothing. Again, and I'm going to repeat things over and over again, the more useful something is to us, the more value we give it. And we don't have to go very far to see this in action with our own eyes on a day-to-day basis. These are the top 5 highest paying professions in our city. London as we know it. CEO, senior executive, they get up to £1 million a year. You got investment banking managing director, they get £1 million a year. You got big boy corporate lawyers, private equity partners earning 4 million plus. Then you got these consultant doctors, specialists, surgeons. Now in the eyes of society, it's quite simple. The more use, and I've changed this slightly, the more use we have in society, the more use a human has in society, the more they're valued. Why? Because simply put, they're contributing more to everyone around. Whether they're valued financially, because they're paid more, whether they're valued emotionally, they've got more friends around them, more people that count on them. It's the same, similar story here than to the M5. Now, if we showed the doctor's salary against, I don't know, a barista at Costa, or the lawyer's salary against someone who works at WH Smith, I'm not cussing anyone's job. Everyone's got to make a living. But what's the difference between the two? Why is one at the top of the spectrum, the other one's at the bottom? Again, these guys are offering so much more to society than the rest of us. Not everyone has the opportunity to save tens of hundreds of lives every single week. Not everyone has the opportunity to have the ability to act upon the law when someone is pleading for their innocence. I repeat it again. The more useful someone is or something is, the more value that they hold. So that was a side point. I'm going to go back to the main point we were making earlier, which is we looked at nature for everything around, for our needs. So we, from the wild, started taming horses like this crazy man's doing. And what we did, we built a special system to be able to maneuver them, and then we taught that system to the horses. We got a rein, which is a bunch of rope, you can say. We stuck it in its mouth, around its head, and it allows us to control which direction this horse moves, how fast it goes, or when we need it to slow down. The value of this horse depends upon how much work it can do if it's a workhorse, how agile it is, or how fast it can run. Now, if, for example, just picture it in our heads. If, for example, we're riding that horse, and an obstacle comes in our way, whether we're riding in the plains, in the forest, and a tree comes in the way, and we start tugging it leftwards to say, come on, move that way, or we start tugging it rightwards to say, move that way, and the horse doesn't listen. And we think, you know what, let's tug both reins at the same time to pull it to a halt. And it doesn't do what we want it to do. Then simply put it, this horse no longer has any value to us. Why? Because where we're supposed to alleviate my stresses, make my life easier, it's not doing it anymore. It's adding more stress to my life. I've got 100 million things to do. Now I've got to take care of this horse and retrain it. I'm better just letting it go. Because it has no use to me anymore, it holds no more value. Without the means of controlling this horse, both me and the horse are at risk. Camels have a very similar way of being controlled. Anyone watch The Mummy? Or The Mummy Returns? And the camels start spitting on people's faces. Those are camels found in the deserts. I remember when I used to do, listen to talks earlier, way back in the day. And a speaker would stand in the front and say, "Oh, do you remember this show from like 1980s? And remember this film from 1970?" And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't even born then." So The Mummy is a really old film. It's a really good film if anyone gets the opportunity to watch it. But camels, very similar way that they are brought into control. Sheep, they get this nut or this ring put around their roses, again, to help maneuver them. And even elephants, Bajade, elephants back in the day when there was no machinery to take huge items up a mountain, they'd load logs or pillars or whatever they could find on the back of an elephant to get it to go. And do you know how they control an elephant? Anyone heard of an ankus? An ankus is a tool that's used to stab the head of the elephant to tell it to go this way and that way. It doesn't hurt them, to be fair. They've got really, really thick skin. They can just about feel it. But that's what the rider does. I don't know if you can see it. He's got an ankus. He should have an ankus in his head. If he wants to go leftwards, he just stabs it this way. If he wants to go right, he stabs it that way. If he wants to stop, he'll stab it with two. Just as important, just as valuable as it is for all of these animals to move, to travel, to get going, it is as important, if not more important, that these animals can be brought to a complete stop, they can be brought to a complete halt, and that they can be controlled. If the horse doesn't move upon my say-so, if the elephant doesn't move upon my say-so, what value does it hold? Now we're going to fast forward a few centuries, and the age of science appears. Right? People are inventing things, those inventions are developing, different types of machinery are coming onto the scene. And so too does the desire for humans to travel faster, travel further, develop as well. We want to get places quicker. We want to travel the world. And out of all these inventions came one of the first major developments. No, it wasn't electricity. It was a bicycle. One single frame made out of wood or metal, handlebar, seat, and two wheels. And interestingly, a bike has two brakes, one for the back, one for the front. Now again, put ourselves in the situation today's age, we're riding a bike, right? Road bikes these days can go 30, 40, 50 plus miles an hour. Now imagine we're riding this bike at great speed and we're going down a main road, and all of a sudden this car comes and swerves right into us. Or imagine we're riding the bike at great speed and a pedestrian comes out of nowhere. They can't see that we're coming, but they step onto the road. Or imagine we're not paying attention and there's a pothole in front of us. There's a huge ditch in front of us. And in a panic, we squeeze the handlebars to try and stop that bike, and we realize, oh, there's no brakes. They never got installed on this bike. And we can all imagine the outcome. Someone's going to get hurt, severely injured, either of the two. I'm going to repeat that point again. Just as important as it is for the bike to be able to move, to get going, to travel, it is as important, if not more important, that this bike has the ability to slow down, it has the ability to be moved, it has the ability to come to a complete stop, a complete halt. Getting through these examples now, we're coming to the end. Our reliance on science increased, and science then developed further. And out comes these things known as automobiles, cars, trains, buses. Now a similar story here, they've got two types of braking. Anyone here still learning how to drive? Hands up, anyone learning how to drive? Losers. Anyone who just passed their test? Anyone? You got a P on your car? Anyone? No? That's good. So, we're taught, right, if we were learning how to drive a manual car, that if there's an emergency in front of you, you can slam the foot brake, you can pull up the handbrake, or you can do both at the same time. Now picture, again, imagine, we're sat in either a car or a bus. we're sat there and we've got a passenger beside us, and they smile at us and say, hey, you made a good choice to travel today. It's a beautiful day outside. And they say, you know what, this bus is definitely going to get you to where you want it to go. It will get you to the destination. It's got the acceleration built in, everything. But this bus, once it starts moving, it will never stop. This bus has not got the ability to come to a complete stop. Who would stay seated on that bus? Who would stay seated in that car? Promise these are the last few examples now. Science developed further, we came up with these things called steam trains. Now, the interesting thing about a steam train, if you watch Harry Potter, is there's an engine room right at the front. Right there, people will throw in coal, and it helps the engine move the train. And what's even more interesting is it has these pulley cords. Usually there's about 2 or 3 in every carriage. This one's got 1 every seat. And what these are, they're linked, right? They're linked and they go all the way throughout the train. The length of the train, they end up with the engine room. Anyone has the ability to pull on those cords to stop that train. Whenever they stopped, their destination arrived, they would do so. Now put ourselves in that situation again. And imagine none of these things existed. No brakes, no pulley cords. As important as it is for this train to be able to move, it's as important, if not more important, for this train to be able to come to a halt. Otherwise, no one's going to get off. No one's going to get to their destination. Who would risk their lives to go on a train which never stopped? Look, through these examples, it's clear to see that this point is being embedded in our minds. How we determine value as a human species. Just as important as it is for things to move, for things to get going, it is as important, if not more important, to be able to slow something down, to bring it to a halt, to bring it to a stop. I promise the last example. Now, the ultimate development for travel, the aeroplane. This thing goes in the air, it cruises around in the air for a few hours, and it lands back on the ground, safe and sound most of the time. Now imagine our parent works at British Airways, and we get free concession flights to wherever we want around the world. We're going to be flying all the time, right? And this one day we decide, you know what? I made it early to my flight. I board the flight quite early. No one else is on there. And I'm looking at my ticket. I'm thinking, yes, I got business class today. I walk up to my seat, and the steward comes to me. And he says, "Why would you go Khalsa? Why would you go Fateh?" I said, yeah. And he says, "I hope you're going to have a great flight. I can promise you I'll be as attentive as I can." But he says to me as I'm about to take a seat, he says, "Be very cautious." And I say, "Why?" And he says, "This plane will indeed, it's going to run down the runway, it's going to fly into the air, it's going to start cruising at altitude. But be very cautious because this plane will never land. It will never come back down to the earth. It will always stay in the air." Tell me who's going to want to fly down on that plane? Who's going to want to sit down and say, yeah, you know what? Sign my life away, I'll take that. For sure it's going to move, for sure it's going to go up. But the truth is, it's never going to slow down, it's never going to come to a halt. As much as we invented, as much as we as humans created things, as much as science has developed, anything which has the ability to move, it also has the ability to come to a stop. Even machinery, for example, these heaters, yeah? Today it's a cold day. We switch them on so we can get a bit warm, get a bit toasty. We can sit here and chill and listen to the talker, the speaker, comfortably. If this was a scorching hot summer's day, which it ends up being now in the UK, 40 degrees, and these heaters are still running and we don't have the ability to stop them, what effect is that going to have on us? The truth is, Sangaji, the reason I went through all these examples is this one very important message. In this entire world, nothing, and I mean nothing, can move as far, as fast, as quickly as this mind of ours. Nothing. This is a Shabad from Sri Guru Arjan Dev Saji Maharaj. From Sukhmani Sahib. Anjan de Bikya Meharache, Jay Janat Apana Ababache, Parme Pula, de Hedisatave, Nemak Mahe Char Kunt Pira Ave. Look at that last pangati. Maharaj says, Nimak Mahi, in an instant, in a nimak. Nimak is shorter than a second. Char Kunt Pira Ave. This mind is so quick. Such speed it's got that it can travel the four corners of the world and come back before the second's even done. That's how quick and how far this mind can travel. As long as you haven't asked you a few questions, this is for you guys to contemplate on. If you want to answer, you can raise your hand, share with the Sangat. If not, just sit there and think. How many hundreds of thousands of years has it been since the very first day that this mind set off? How many hundreds and thousands of days has it been since his mind started traveling? How long has it been? Countless lifetimes it's been moving. Countless lifetimes it's been traveling with no ability to slow down whatsoever. It has no ability to come to a halt. It's got no brakes whatsoever. Horses, camels, these animals, when they eat to fuel themselves, right? Cars, buses, planes, the reason we put oil into them is to fuel them up. So what fuels our mind when it continues to go? It's our desires. Those things that we keep saying, me, 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 I want this, I want that, I want to do that, I want to do this. Our hopes. They keep this mind chasing, they keep it moving with no brakes, no ability to stop whatsoever. And as this mind travels, if an obstacle was to come in its way, right? We talked about the bicycle on the road and the car swerves into our direction. If an obstacle was to come into our way, like the horses in the tree, that obstacle for the mind is known as a bad karma. Something we're doing that we know we shouldn't be doing. If an obstacle came in the mind's way, we would just do it anyway. Why? Because we have no ability to stop this mind. We have no ability to put a halt to this mind. We have not gathered the understanding and the ability to how to bring this mind to a halt. Gurbani is being read. Gurbani is being sung. We sit in the darbar. That's what happens, right? And we so really wish for this mind to stop. We really want this mind to pause just for a second to enjoy that bliss of Gurbani, which Guru Sahib Ji are talking about over and over again. And instead, this mind just keeps on going over and over again, keeps on traveling. Our tongue, ourselves, we might be reading Gurbani, we might be reciting it and singing it ourselves, but our mind just keeps on moving. We figured out a method to get all these random things around us to move. We figured out a method to get this mind to move, which is our desires. But unfortunately, we have no method whatsoever to stop it, to get it to pause. There's a really, really beautiful Pangati from this Itihasic Granth. And what's being said here is, Man lo jai buri aiyan, gur sabdi eho man hodiya. Bahan janak di pakdiya, sir di jai bahe na chodiya. Then they say, Guru Tegh Bahadur bolya, tar paiya, taram na chodiya. Just to give you an example of what this means, or give you a brief into the context of this Shabad. This whole chapter before this Shabad even comes is of Baba Banda Singh Bahadur as they're being captured with their Gursikh Fauj in a fort. They've been held captive for months on end. No energy left in their bodies. They're literally reduced to bone. No supplies for months. And as they're captured by the Mughal regime and they're forced to march to Delhi, there Baba Banda Singh Bahadur, they are taken captive, they are tortured in the most horrific ways. So much so their son, who's only a few years old, is brought in front of them. And his heart is taken, ripped out of his chest and put into the mouth of Baba Banda Singh Bahadur. And all those Gursikh, they're forced to watch this. They're forced to endure their own torture. And then this comes up. Guru Tegh Bahadur Bolya, Tar paiya, Dharam na chhodiye. They're saying Tar paiya means this body can go. This body can be completely obliterated. Dharam na chhodiye, but we're never going to let go of our Sikhi. And if we take our mind back to this first Bangadi, Manalo Jaburiyanya. What they're saying here is our mind, all it ever wants to do is do bad things. Manalo Jaburiyanya, Guru Sabdi, Eho Manhodiya. The only one thing that can bring a break, that can stop this mind, can pause it, can slow it down. Guru Sabdi, Eho Manhodiya. Hodiya means to stop. It's the Gurbani. And we might be thinking, what on earth is this guy going on about? First, he gave 10 million examples, and all of a sudden he's talking about using Gurbani to stop our mind. Look, I remember this story from a long time ago. There was a blind man, and he'd been blind from birth. Right? He grew up now. He was older, he had the ability to spend his own money, to do his own things. He'd always interacted with the world, but he could never see it. Right? He could hear things, he could smell things, he could taste things, but he could never see the world for himself. So he went to a doctor, and he asked the doctor, is there any way you can give me eyesight? And he goes, yeah, sure, there's so many different methods now. And he gives him the best possible solution. He says there's a 90% chance that this operation will go well. So the odds are in your favor. And he goes, yeah, obviously, but the worst thing's going to happen is I can't see anyways. Let's get it done. So he goes into the operating theater, and he's in there for hours. The surgeon finishes what he's doing, and the doctor puts these bandages around this guy's eyes, and he puts on these thick black shades, and he gets him to walk to this room, and this room is completely dark. Why? Because to protect the eyes for hours, they have to keep any form of light away from the pupils. And what the doctor does after hours later, he comes back into the room, and he says to the patient, can you just take off your glasses and unravel these bandages? And so he starts to do that. And the doctor wants to know whether the operation was successful or not. So what do you think he asks the patient? Yeah. He asked the patient, what can you see? With a bit of a ego about him, he thought, yeah, it's definitely going to work. He says to the patient, what can you see? And the patient says, all I can see is darkness. And most of us would think, well, that means the operation was unsuccessful. Now, what's very interesting about this is blind people don't know the difference between darkness and light, right? Because darkness is the absence of light. You need to know what light looks like to be able to know what darkness is. He has never seen either. So when he said, all I can see is darkness, the doctor thought to himself, yes, the surgery was a success. Now point that finger to us, and we got to ask ourselves this question, what is our own darkness? Because for the doctor, he thought to himself, if this man can see darkness, he'll be able to see the light. That's not a problem. And the question is for us, we want to see that light of Guru Sahib. Do we know our own darkness? Do we know it? Our shortcomings, our bad habits, things that get us riled up. When we get heated in the moment, when someone might say something to us, and we just can't let go of it. Do we know ourselves truly from within? The first jalak, what that relates to or translates to, the first sign of someone making progress on this path of Sikhi is this: when they can understand their own shortcomings. They can come face to face with who they are within. All those years of being completely unknown about what their darkness was, they finally get to approach that person. And the question now here, when this talk is called Sikhi versus change, the question here is, do I continue living the way I've been living my whole life? Because the question is, truly, where has that got me? Where has it got me living my life the way I've been living it for all these years? And the question now is, do we make those changes in our lives to live like our Guru wants us to, when all the examples in Itihas that they've given? Or do we carry on unknown about our own darkness and just living the way that we are? There's a Pangati from Guru Arjan Dev Saji Maharaj's Bani. We talk about people being warriors on the external lens, and yes, 100% you should train. We should adorn Shastra. All those things are very important. But there's a Pangati from Sri Guru Arjan Dev Saji Maharaj says, Bira apan bura matave. Maharaj says, this person I will accept as a warrior. Who? Bira apan. That person is a soldier who apan bura matave, who can get rid of all their shortcomings within, who can get rid of all this stuff that is bura, which is bad within. That is the warrior that I want. Link it back to that Sakhi of Baba Banda Singh Bahadur. Those Singhs, they had no power left in their limbs. They knew they couldn't fight off the enemy forces anymore. They couldn't call on anyone else to come and save them. So what did they do? They knew that their last fortress was their mind. And they thought to themselves, the only way I can stop this thing from dropping, from falling, from giving up, is Guru Tegh Bahadur boliya. Tar paiya, dharam na chodiya. They will never give up their Sikhi no matter what it takes, even if it costs their body. So, back to this first Pankti, because we're going to start wrapping up in a bit. Manalocha buriyanya. The truth is, if we want to know how our mind is in a dark state, how we're filled with this type of darkness, it's quite simple to go through a few shabas. Again, we'll use Guru Amardas Saji Bani to be able to see this. If our mind wants to direct ourselves to go to a bad place to do bad things, our mind will direct these eyes to look at things that it know it shouldn't. Whether that's things that other people own and we know we want those things but we can't have them. Our mind, if it's got a negative perspective, a wrong perspective, it'll force us to do that. Whether it's going to force us to look at the opposite gender, whether it's going to force us to look at things that we should have been looking at. If the perspective of this mind is wrong, then it will use the eyes in a wrong way. If the perspective of this mind is wrong, it will use these ears in a wrong way. If the perspective of this mind is wrong, it will utilize this entire body in the wrong way. The biggest problem here that we have on this planet is we have not installed those brakes into this mind. The day that we got this mind, we ran off and we didn't look back. Guru Amardas Saji Maharaj, in their Bani, they explain to the Sikh that if our mind attempts to use his eyes to do something wrong, E netra ho mera ho, har tum meh jot tari, har bin avar na dekho koi, har bin avar na dekho koi, nadri har nihalya. Oh my mind, through these eyes of yours, look towards Hari Parameswara, look towards Guru Sahib and no one else. I know when this mind decides that, I've had enough of looking at things. Now I want to do bad things with my ears. Whether it's listen to the slander, the gossip of other people, whether you don't like someone and you know someone's gossiping about them and you're thinking, you know what? I want to get that dirt on that person too. Whether it's the music that we listen to with these explicit lyrics, look what's happening out on the scene. All these rap stars, all these music stars who once upon a time were held in society like this, look at what they're doing behind closed doors. P. Diddy, Jay-Z, all these mans. And you got to think to yourself, if they use that same mind to make that music that we listen to, surely they use that same mind to do all those things behind those closed doors. And these are just the people that are coming out of the woodworks. There's probably hundreds of them. Surely, subconsciously, this music that we listen to on a day-to-day basis is having an effect in here. Surely. And if that's the case, Guru Sahib Ji then explain, "E sravana ho mere ho, sache sunane nu biठाए, sache sunane nu biठाए, sri laye suno ho satbani." Guru Amar Das Saji Maharaj is saying, we came to this world and we got this body for one single purpose. Listen to the truth. Be absorbed in the beauty of that truth. You know, every single action, it starts off as a thought. There's no action that we take that hasn't been thought out before. Impossible. So when this mind decides to utilize this tongue to speak bad about others, when it decides to utilize this tongue to swear, to shout, when it decides to utilize this tongue to then eat the wrong things, to drink the wrong things, to ingest the wrong things, I mean, come on. Who would have ever believed that back in the day, they thought cigarettes were health sticks? These are some articles that I saw. And I remember back in the day when I was looking at these things, they used to refer, doctors used to prescribe cigarettes to their patients. Here we've got a news article that the newspapers are telling everyone to go and smoke cigarettes. Why? Because it will aid your digestion like nothing else can. There was actually worse than what I'm showing here, because they were telling babies and kids to smoke cigarettes. This is America, by the way. And this one's telling her mum, "Yo, do you want to use Marlboro or a different brand?" Think about it. So much so, they've even counted 20,679 doctors have advised that if you've got a little tickle in your throat, or if you've got some sort of irritation in your throat, then the best protection for your throat isn't a Strepsil, is a cigarette. I mean, for goodness sakes, even animals know just how dangerous smoke is. Janwar know to run away from wherever they smoke. We won't find a single species of life in this entire world that will smoke apart from one species, human beings. And who would have thought? Obviously, years later, they came to their senses. Years later, they started putting health guidelines into place. After, a quarter of the population, half of the population were addicted to cigarettes, were addicted to nicotine. You got to think what happened maybe 300 years ago, 350 years ago. Guru Gobind Singh Maharaji, they turned to their Khalsa and they said, not a single one of you will ever touch a cigarette. Not a single one of you will ever touch tobacco, not even go near it. And you know, back in that day, back in those days, the Mughals, the Hindus at the time, they were laughing and making a mockery of the Singhs. Why? Because they thought to themselves, look what Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj is making you do. You can't have a cigarette. You can't smoke tobacco. You can't have hookah. They used these points to make a mockery of Singhs. And now look at today. Every single cigarette package will show you just how poisonous this thing is. In every public space, you can't even smoke cigarettes indoors, forget airports, anywhere, restaurants, you name it. Only now is the world starting to catch up with the understanding that Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj had from years back. And in certain aspects of our lives, Sangatji, in certain aspects of our lives, the way that we live has dropped below the standards of even an animal. Look, it's a well-known fact that lions, they will not ever eat another lion. Even if they're starving, probably like one case in a million, lions will never eat another lion. You got to think they're the kings of the jungle. They can eat anything they want. They're the king hunters within the jungle, but they won't ever eat one of their own. They will never taste the blood of their own. And we usually associate animals with lower intelligence than humans, right? We think they're not as clever as we are. We got more knowledge, we got more developments, we got science, right? There's only one species in this world that will go after one another. There was only one species in this world where man will chase the blood of another man. And that's, again, us as humans. Look what's happening around the world. You got Donald Trump ordering military aircrafts to go to the Middle East. Look what's happened to Bajari people in Palestine. Their homes have been reduced to complete rubble. There's more kids now than there are adults. And no country has decided, you know what, we're going to step in to help these guys. Iran got blown up, and now all of a sudden they're starting to blow up their own brothers and sisters. That's just half of the story. Russia, Ukraine, all these places, mankind is going after mankind, and that's just on a macro level. What's happening in our own communities? What's happening in our own Sikh Panth? We got brothers going after brothers. We got sisters going after sisters. Why? Over the smallest little arguments, we're going after one another. Over the smallest little arguments, we're ready to shoot each other down online. Over the smallest little things, we can't give each other a break. This Sakhi is a really well-known Sakhi by Laloji and Malik Pago. On one of Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji Udasiyan, they travels around the world. Guru Nanak Dev Ji a lot of the time will meet those Guru Sikhs that were thirsting for the darshan. And lucky for Bhai Lalo Ji, the time came for Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji to visit them, to give them darshan. So they came. Bhai Lalo Ji was a Greeb Sikh. They were very poor. They had barely anything to give. But the little bit that they did, they gave with open hands. So much so, bajra di roti is like a really rough type of flour. It was known as a poor man's roti. They would make that for Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj, even though they knew that it wasn't up to the standards they should prepare. But they gave what they had. And I'm going to cut this Sakhi quite short because of time. In that town, in that area, was a rich king known as Malik Pago. And what he would do, he would tax people extremely high. He basically steal their money so he can sustain his own living. Now, he caught wind that Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji were visiting the area. So he asked Maharaj to come for langar. And Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj, to cut the story short, the Sakhi short, they came to the palace. And there they picked up a roti from Malik Pago, even though this picture kind of is ChatGPT, just sort of change them into Dande. And they picked up a roti from Bhai Lalo Ji. And as they squeeze that roti from Bhai Lalo Ji, out comes dud to show the purity in which Bhai Lalo Ji created that roti, with the love, with prosa, with prem. And as they squeeze that roti from Malik Pago Ji, out comes that blood. Why? Because he would drink the blood of all those people who worked blood, sweat and tears to make an honest living. He would suck that away from them. And that was what went to his roti. That's what he was feeding Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj. Back to this point. Question is why? How we got ourselves in this position, whether it's on a macro level, whether it's our own brothers and sisters. There are no brakes installed in this mind of ours. I'm going to repeat it again. This mind will just keep on going. It keeps on doing its own thing with no control whatsoever. If an obstacle comes in our way, there's going to be an accident. And those accidents are in the form of stress, anxiety, mental health issues. Now more than ever before, the research is going through the roof. Every single type of major disease is being sourced back to one single point, and that is mental health. Mental health. Mental health. I won't be surprised if in 20, 30 years, mental health is the biggest killer of humankind. This mind will run around in each and every corner of this world. The truth is, when we ask it to turn towards the house of the Guru, very difficult to get to do so. Even if Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj are calling out to us in so much prem, with so much pyar, Tum kar aavo mere meet. Imagine your Guru saying that to you. My best friend, mere meet, Tum ghar aavo, come back home. And the mind says, no, I'm okay. Now we're getting towards the end of the talk. And I'm going to close off the tongue piece because we talk about ears, the eyes, and the tongue. Guru Amardas Haji Maharaj, they say, "E rasna tu anaras raj rahi, teri pyas na jai. Pyas na jai hor te kete jichar har ras par na pai." Maharaj is saying this tongue of ours will never be satiated. It will never ever be content. My favorite food, or one of my favorite foods, is pizza. Hands up, who likes pizza? Yes, Baji, quickly put his hand up. Baji, I've got a question for you because you were so eager. If I said to you, you're going to go home and have pizza tonight, would you be happy? And if I said, Baji, you're going to have to have it for breakfast tomorrow, you're going to be happy? Leftover pizza, it's right, right? No? And if I said you're going to have it for lunch tomorrow, you're going to be happy? And then for dinner, and then for breakfast the next day, and every single day, for every meal, you're going to have pizza, are you going to be happy? No. Nothing in this world will ever completely satisfy us. Why? Because our mind just cannot sit still. That pizza we thought we wanted on that day one slowly starts to slip away from us. That desire to have that pizza will slowly start to slip away from us the more that we get it. And it brings us back to this point. If something can move, can travel like this mind, but it cannot be stopped, we cannot make it pause, it's unable to make us complete in our pursuit of happiness, and that pursuit of happiness is a second by second venture for every single human. That car, that train that we talked about, that aeroplane, that bicycle, with no brakes, with no steering whatsoever. And the craziest thing is we're using this as the basis of our lives. Day to day, we rely on this thing to tell us what to do. And we can't even control it. We haven't found a way to bring it to a halt. And for as long as we cannot bring this mind to a stop, the truth is quite dire. Our janam and our maran will not stop if this mind can't stop. Our dukh, that kalesh, our santab will not stop because this mind can't stop. All those things we know we shouldn't be doing, they won't stop because this mind can't stop. The last piece of this talk, probably another 10 minutes, 15 minutes, gotta be, is how on earth do we stop this mind? There's a really beautiful shabad from Sri Guru Amardas Haji Maharaj, again, our third king, our third Guru. Maharaj says Slok Mahalla Tija to represent Guru Amardas Haji Maharaj. Hasti sirjun ankas hai, aharna jyon sir de. What Guru Amardas Haji Maharaj is saying is only if the elephant, we talked about an elephant before, only if an elephant can bring its head under the command of the ankus. We talked about ankus. Who knows what ankus is now? Do you know what it is? With the subdivision, with a stick. Exactly. It's a tool used to stop the elephant, a sharp tool. And Guru Amardas Haji Maharaj is saying, Hasti sirjun ankus hai. If the elephant is able to bring its head under the command of the ankus, aharana jyon sir de. And I don't know if anyone used to play RuneScape when you were younger, or anyone played any medieval games or anything like that, right? And ahead and here is an anvil, right? Back in the old days when they used to make swords and armory and anything out of metal, they would throw this thing, this ore, this like, I don't know, block of metal into a furnace, make it really hot and malleable, put it on this block of metal known as an anvil, and they'll smack it into shape. And what Guru Amardas Haji Maharaj is saying is, only then can the metal be controlled to be made into precious jewelry, precious items. Only then can this elephant be brought under the control of the rider. And only then can these things bring sukh to us, bring happiness to us. Mandan aage raakh ke, wo bhi save kare. In the same way, how do we bring this mind under control? How do we bring this mind under the control of the ankus? How do we bring this mind on that, lay it onto that animal so we can be shaped the way that our Guru wants it to be shaped? Maharaj says, place this mind, place his body in the charan of Sadguru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Why else do we go and do matha tek? Simple question. Why do we go and do matha tek? What is it? Is it something to show off to someone that I can bow in front of my Guru? Why do we do it? We go there to place our mind in front of our Guru and say, look, I've lived my life in accordance with this thing and it's got me nowhere. Maharaj, you take it now. You take it now and you tell me how you want me to be transformed. Which direction you want to take me? Now we're going to finish off with these two Sakhis. They actually link quite well with each other. The first one is, this is from Mahabharata, right? Long time ago. It's Arjun and Krishna ji, right? Krishna Bhagwan, Sri Krishna ji and Arjun. And the other Sakhi is from the Janam Sakhiya of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj. So we'll go through the first one from Mahabharata. What happens is, Arjun has a chariot. A chariot is used by horses to pull someone across. And Arjun is sat in the chariot and he's got these 5 horses that are pulling him. And this scene is usually depicted in such a way that he asks Krishnji to be the driver whilst he's sat in the back chilling. Arjun sat in the back chilling as the passenger. Krishnji is in the front and he's commanding these horses. And because Arjun is sat on this back and Krishnji sat on the front, Arjun says to Krishnji, look, these 5 horses are so powerful, I can't control them. They got too much power in them. So what he does is he grabs the reins and he gives it to Krishnji and he says, you direct them. I've got somewhere to get to. I've got a destination to go. I'm giving you the reins. You direct these horses because I can't do it. And when you hear this Sakhi like that, you're thinking, there's got to be more beauty in this story. There's got to be more to it. Because really, when it comes to the relationship between a Guru and his Sikh, just like Arjun and Krishnji, we think of things like this. Kabir, Kukar Ram Ko Muttiya, Mere now, as in to say, my name is Muttiya. And I'm the dog, Maharaj. Then Maharaj says, Galle hamare jevari jehkin cheh teh jao. I've got a chain around my neck, Maharaj. Wherever you pull me, that's where I'm going to go. I'm not giving you anything, Maharaj. You put this chain on my neck. You take me where you want to take me. This is actually a picture made from my Ustad. Years ago, we used to do katha after Santhya classes. They're just in the back over there. And he sent this document out and he labeled it and he sent it out because he did katha of this whole thing, right? And Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj, they had this huge, deep discussion with the Rai Barar. And he starts to ask questions like, am I the mind? No. Am I the soul? Well, who knows? They get to this point. And the essence of this Sakhi of Arjun in the chariot and Krishnji pulling and commanding these horses is this. This life of ours is a chariot. This chariot is our life. And these 5 horses are referred to as the 5 senses in our body. The ability to smell, the ability to see, the ability to hear, the ability to feel something. And this body will only move in accordance to where these horses take it, because the chariot is led by the horses. Our body is led by our senses. And when Arjun says that these horses, they're too powerful, one goes this way, the other one goes that way. What he's really saying is, my ears are going this way, my eyes are going that way, my taste is going that way. I've got no control over any of my organs. They don't take one single path. They don't commit themselves to one single path. Hence why he gave the reins to Krishnji and says, you control them. And when it comes to the Sakhi of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj, is very similar, but it's just a little bit more beautiful. Bhai Lerna ji, they're riding a horse. Before Bhai Lerna ji were made to the second Guru, Bhai Lerna Ji were known as Bhai Lerna Ji. They were a Sikh of Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj. And before this, they didn't even know who they were. They're riding a horse, and for a few months now, they kept hearing this name, Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj. Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj. Back in those days, they were known as Nanak Tapa. But they kept hearing this name, Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj, Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj. And it got deeper and deeper embedded into their soul. So much so they couldn't stop thinking about them. And as they decided to leave their home that day, they got on their horse, and this particular urge welled up within them. They kept on listening to that name, and this thirst that they didn't know existed before, all of a sudden just burst out of nowhere. And within them, they had this urge to go and meet Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj. You know that day when this thirst wells up within us? We have to understand that it means one thing simply, that we're making traction on this path. The day that this thirst wells up within us, understand it to mean that we're gaining the fruits of all the kirtan, all the katha that we've listened to for months and days and years. Otherwise, Sangatji, we could be regarded as good listeners. We can remember a story, we can remember a sakhi, we can remember a pangati. But we're yet to make considerable traction on that path. Why? Only when someone is thirsty, they're going to go look for water. Only when within, Bhai Lerna Ji was thirsty, they started going to look for Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj. Only then. Imagine our whole lives we've been listening to Kirtan, we will listen to Katha. We've been doing part for so long. And that thirst is yet to well up within us. It might be the case that we're completely unaware of it. It might be the case we're completely unaware of how thirsty we are. That cup of water could be in front of us and we don't know how thirsty we are for that drop. Or in other words, Gurbani could be in front of us. Amrit could be in front of us and we don't know how thirsty we are. And we don't take it, we don't absorb it in. And that dukh remains in our heart. That kalesh remains in our lives. We don't even know what it means to be completely quenched. So Bhai Lerna Ji are traveling on their horse. And as they're traveling on this path towards wherever they believe Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj to be, every now and then they come across a traveler. And every time they come across a traveler, they ask the same question, where is the house of Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj? Tell me. And the travelers keep telling them, just go ahead. Keep going ahead. You'll find your way there. So they keep on going. They keep meeting these travelers. And they keep asking that same question. And they must have been asked 7, 8, 9, 10 times. And every single time they ask the question, it's the same response. Just keep going. Just keep going. And the question here is, how often do we decide to look ahead? And how often do we pause ourselves and decide, you know what, I'd rather go backwards and experience what I used to back in the day. Instead, sometimes we're making progress on a path, we're connecting spiritually, we're feeling these heights that we never experienced before. Sometimes a memory from the past, or whatever it is from the past, drags us back. And we go slipping back into our old habits, slipping back into our old routines, attaching ourselves to everything that's temporary. Again, it's down to this mind. Are we going to have the ability to control which direction it goes? When it gets pulled back, are we going to let it happen? The biggest miracle in Sikhi isn't all the crazy stories that you hear. Yes, there's amazing feats that Sikhs have conquered over many, many years. It's more so this. The miracle of Sikhi is this: how much have we been transformed from the day that we started walking on this path to where we are now? That's the miracle in Sikhi. And there's a beautiful pankti here, Mar says, Agaha kutrang, piche fer na mohorda. Nanak sinj evehavar bahurna hovi janmara. Mara saying, everything you are, everything you used to be is back there. But all that you need and all that you really want, your guru is ahead. We're caught at a crossroads. The question is, which direction are we going to go? So as Bhai energy keep moving, as they keep walking, they keep riding that horse, they come to this one traveler. And again, they ask the same question, where is the house of Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj? And what they didn't realize is the traveler that they met was in fact Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj. Obviously, they'd never seen them before. So they asked that question, where is Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj? And as Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj look into the eyes of Bhai Energy, they can say he's completely thirsty. They are completely desperate to find out the answer. So Bhai Energy repeat the question, and Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj, they double, triple check. Are you sure you're looking for this house of Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj? And Bhai Energy says, that's all I want. That's the only place I want to go to. There's nothing else I'm asking for. Just this one thing. And Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj, they say, Chalo then, you give me the reins of the horse and I'll take you there myself. Look at the difference in that Sakhi. Arjun, as the passenger, gives the reins to Krishnji and says, you take me where I want to go. Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj come to meet Bhai Energy before they reach the destination. They take the reins from Bhai Energy and they themselves are taking Bhai Energy where they need to go. Look at the difference. Look at the relationship between the Guru and their Sikh. Charan saran gur ek panda jai chal, Sadguru Kot panda, aage hoye lete hai. Bhai Energy made a step. They made a step towards the right direction. Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj walked the whole way to go and meet Bhai Energy and take them themselves. What inspiration can we take from this Sakhi? If Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj don't take hold of the reins of our lives, it's very difficult for anyone to be able to reach the house of the Guru. But guaranteed, if Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj will grab hold of the reins of those who are thirsting for them, just like Bhai Energy. Over and over again, they're asking, where's the house of Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj? Where's the house of Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj? Where is the house of Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj? Only then does that real kira, only then does that real play between the Sikh and the Guru take place. Only then. To finish off this talk, before Kal Singh makes a few announcements, this mind is on a crazy ride. We know it. Very hard to control. There's many religions out there that will tell you to do this and that and this and that. Sit in this pose, sit in this meditation, chant this name. But the truth here is the most ultimate thing out there is Gurbani. The only one thing that can control this mind, which we have been stuck with for many, many lifetimes, the only thing that's going to bring it into control is the word of Akal Purkh Waheguru. How desperate are we for Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj to take our reins? So, during this talk, I would have made many, many mistakes. Please forgive me. I didn't mean to say things that might have offended you. I'll take that blame myself. If you want to talk to me afterwards, you have any questions, more than happy to stay. But we'll finish off the talk here. We'll finish off with the Spankati and then Kal can make his announcements. Lekh hai kateh na chuti hai, khin kal puran har, baksan har baksala, nanak par utar, Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa,